A Place Called Home by Laurie Wick, Chapter 22. This week has just flown by, especially since the weather has finally cooled. Grandma M shifted. Did you get your letter off? Yes, it's been posted. I also had another confrontation with your grandson. Why does he put up such a fuss when I try to pay on my bill? Grandma M laughed, but offered no explanation. The truth of the matter was that Mark's heart was tender to a fault. He and Sue cared deeply for Christine and would do anything to ease her plight. Grandma M also knew about pride. She knew Christine had plenty of it because she saw herself so clearly in the young woman. The women were now on Grandma M's street, her house in sight. Is that Luke on your porch? Yes, I believe so. Something in Grandma M's voice made Christine ask, Do you think something is wrong? Grandma M slowed down a bit and spoke softly. Don't ask me how I know, Christine, but I think I'm about to get into trouble for painting on my own porch. Near the porch now, the women exchanged a glance and then quickly looked away, lest they should begin to laugh. The days they had spent painting had been wonderful. Getting to know and trust each other through paint splatters and laughter had been a tonic to Christine. Neither woman would have traded the experience for the world. Hello, Luke, you're in time for lunch. Will you stay? Luke answered as he took his grandmother's packages and held the door for both ladies. Thanks, Gram. As lunch preparations were made, Christine was aware of Luke's eyes. They settled on both her and Grandma M for long, intense moments. The conversation was light, but Luke seemed somewhat distracted. The three made short work of thick ham slices, fresh-made bread, and cheese wedges. The peaches were ripe to perfection, sweet as candy. A forkful of chocolate cake was halfway to Grandma M's mouth when Luke said offhandedly, I heard today that Lars Larson broke his arm. Luke watched as the women across from him paused ever so slightly in their eating before rushing on, taking care not to look anywhere but at their plates. Luke felt a sinking sensation in the pit of his stomach. Their pause had confirmed the gossip he had heard downtown to be true. Did you know he had broken his arm, Gram? Yes. Was he able to get your porch and shutters? Was he able to get to your porch and shutters before he fell? No, he was not. Her answer was quiet but firm. Luke's own eyes dropped to his plate. He was beginning to wish he hadn't even asked. A fight with his grandmother was not what he wanted, but one look at her face told him he had better step carefully, or that was exactly what he would have. Grandma M's chin was thrust out, her eyes sparkling with defiance. Luke nearly laughed out loud as his eyes swung to Christine. She sported the same mulish look, ready for battle. 2 against 1. It just wasn't fair. Luke knew that another tactic was needed here. Who climbed the ladder? He asked, as if he didn't really care. I did. Christine. The women answered in unison. Luke sat and eyed each woman in turn. Both were on the verge of speaking in their own defense when Luke stood. Well, ladies, the porch looks nice. You paint very well. This said, Luke bent and kissed Grandma M's cheek. Thanks for lunch. I'll see you both Sunday. And with that, he left. You could have heard a feather drop in the kitchen after the front door shut. Neither woman spoke. Feeling shame at how defiantly they had behaved, Emily and Christine exchanged sheepish glances and moved to do the dishes. As Christine worked, she realized that Luke still didn't know how much she appreciated the verses. Feeling double the guilt, she worked on, determined to let Luke know, some way, on Sunday.